My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Alright, today is March 15, 2025. It is 2 a.m. 1:58 exactly. So I'm gonna do two videos, one for this channel and another one for PYTE. I just finished edit whatever I recorded yesterday and I created this list a few minutes ago. So let's get started. This will be for PYTE. The 15 tweets will be for PYTE, and these, I think it's 8 of them, will be for APTS Sussex. So if you have not subscribed to PYTE, please go subscribe. All right, so this is the background. I do this for record purposes. Analytics, 757 views in the last 48 hours. So let's go on Twitter. There's a lot of discussion. And by the way, if some of you saw what I posted on PYTE community board, I did watch With Love Meghan, and I think I fell asleep somewhere either episode 6 or 7. The last one that I fully aware that I finished watch is the one with Abigail Spencer and the other lady, I forgot her name. When they did the fish, that I saw. I had been stuck in episode 2, so I finished watch episode 2 and I got up to episode 5, and I think I fell asleep in episode 6 or 7. It has to be episode 6 because the last I remember was the fish thing. The fish, when they made the fish, they cover it with salt and all of that. So that I fully aware that I finished watch. So it's probably the next episode that I need to go back to. All right, so this is the first tweet. My tired is tired. It is 2025 and people are still doing what they were doing since November of 2016. Is that not madness? This is Sussex Podcast. I have several tweets regarding Sussex Podcast. I think most of their tweets, Sussex Podcast, they block their comments. So she retweeted that. Every single day, y'all go and look for what the British media is doing, which is try to tear down Meghan and promote some other business. And then you guys promote that story using screenshot and videos with Meghan's show. Name and brand, hashtag effing hell. She deserves better. I don't know. Maybe this is not squatties because I haven't come across some of these things. If I have, I don't remember any of them. So these people may not be squatties because I haven't come across. I usually see screenshot of, let's say, tabloid maybe. But in terms of other things like that, I don't remember. All right, so they blocked their comments. This is why there was retweet or retweet. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, so this one, I haven't listened to it yet. Shocking part for me was how low the working Royal British press went to make headlines about Meghan Sussex to destroy her. Thank God the public can see though their evil. Okay, thank God the public can see through their evil, racist envy and jealousy. This probably through. All right, so this is almost 2 minutes, 1 minute and 52 seconds. There will be screenshot, but listen to the audio.
One of Prince Harry's 5 words for this era is space. So let's debunk the whole privacy part of the hate campaign. In reality, Harry and Meghan simply asked for some respect, right? And now space. Because these are the type of headlines that were happening to cover up stories like this. Okay, so Sarah Vine says, yes, they're joyfully in love. So what do I have a what worry? about this engagement picture before they were even married. These are the type of headlines that were happening. And then here, when Meghan was supporting the Grenfell fire survivors with a charity cookbook, which, by the way, is still for sale and still raising lots of money for them. The headline by Camilla Tomini says, Meghan cookbook mosque linked with 19 suspects, including who in the group's investigation? Insane. And then when this happened, I was done. I was like, oh, Katie's a part of it. Okay. Another headline by Rachel Johnson, Boris's sister. Sorry, Harry, but your beautiful Bolter has failed my mom test again before they were married. Here, it was proven by one of Meghan's former co-stars that people were being paid to lie about her in order to get headlines.
Yeah, that's regarding Rex. Is it Simon Rex? And I have a video of him as well during a red carpet making reference to that same headline as well.
I know we can rely on you for being a great guy. So what an incredible friend you were to Meghan Markle is. Have you guys hung out at all since then?
No, we haven't spoken. She just wrote me a very nice thank you letter, and I framed it, and that was very nice of her to do. She just appreciated that I was honest, but it's so funny that we live in a time where everyone's like, it's such a big deal. I just did the right thing.
Right.
You know, it's okay I feel like that should be the norm and the status quo, but it's like, whoa, it's so crazy. He told the truth. I think we should all be a little more honest.
Well, thank you for doing the right thing.
And because there was so much racism in the press, people went to prison.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right?
Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life on on more than one occasion, on several occasions?
We had teams investigating it. People have been prosecuted for those threats.
Over it. And of course, this woman here who works for the Daily Mail moved in next door to Meghan's father before the wedding in order to get headlines. And of course, all of this was being sanctioned, in my opinion, by the British royal family, because not once did they ever speak up. I, for one, think it's admirable for these two humans who happen to be parents to put space between them and those who cause them harm.
As for his relationship with Prince William,
the relationship is space.
That is true. Okay, oops, let's pause that. Okay. Oh, there's more. Okay. This one is 1 minute and 11 seconds. The British press and royalists, with their haters blaming Meghan, should hear this. It is Harry who said, we need to get out of here. Thank God they are out of there. Watch Harry and Meghan on Netflix. We love you, Harry and Meghan. Yes and no, but isn't when we look in court as well with and then Harry's book regarding the Sandringham, they had already prepared the document for him to leave. They give 5 options, and they waste his time pretending that I think the Sandringham summit was a way for the public to let the public know, oh, we as a family trying to work things out. Meanwhile, keep in mind, the royal family manufactured the problem, and then they try to solve the problem, and then they try to make it seem like they are the victim as well. But it is them, the royal family, who create the problem. And then when Harry went to the Sandringham summit, okay, the document was already written for him to step out. Okay? And this is why Harry said in the book, so I'll put the section about the Sandringham summit. Here it is. Okay?
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
So now, let's finish this one. Looks like it's a long thread. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this and then go into that retweet here. The British press and royalists, with their haters blaming Meghan, should hear this. It is Harry who said we need to get out of here. Thank God they are out of there. Watch Harry and Meghan on Netflix. We love you, Meghan. There's all those hashtags. And this one says here, so I could finish with that. I am so glad that globally people are seeing the evil and exposing the culprits because UK media serve as proxies for the British royals. They rubber stamp racism, abuse, misogyny, and a hunt despite media predation that took Diana's life. British royal family will never be redeemed. And this is why Harry and Meghan had to tell their side of the story. Because all headlines, like I've said in past videos, were future, okay? For future references when our great-grandkids are doing research about Harry and Meghan, and all the headlines they will be seeing were the negative one. So Harry and Meghan had to speak up. Okay, so let's listen to that. Oh my God, there's more. Okay, so this is too long. I'm not gonna go into James O'Brien. Probably something I've already covered. You know what? I'm itching. Maybe I need to listen to it. If I've already listened to it or if I've heard it already, I'll just skip it. But let's listen to this one though. 1 minute and 11 seconds. Screenshot.
I wonder what would have happened to us had we not gone out when we did.
Our security was being pulled. Everyone in the world knew where we were.
I said we need to get out of here.
Okay. So that's when they were in Canada. They had already left the UK. Sandringham summit already happened, so that's when they were in Canada, and they find out where they were. The royal family find out where they were, and then they're sending people right in front of their front doors. And then the pandemic started. Borders were gonna close and all of that, so they had to get out really quickly. Okay.
You're on the Freedom Flight.
Okay, so that's them going back to the US.
Institutional gaslighting.
I wasn't being thrown to the wolves, I was being fed to the wolves.
They were actively recruiting people to disseminate disinformation.
They were happy to lie to protect my brother. They were never willing to tell the truth to protect us.
And then it's William, this is another level of psychotic. Remember when he was talking about discrediting the Martin Bashir interview with his mother, where he's saying something about misinformation and fake news and all of that?
I would like to thank Lord Dyson and his team for the report. It is welcome that the BBC accepts Lord Dyson's findings in full, which are extremely concerning. In an era of fake news, public service broadcasting and a free press have never been more important. These failings, identified by investigative journalists, not only let my mother down and my family down.
Meanwhile, he's the one who's creating all the fake news and all of that. This is crazy. I think he's even worse than Charles. Look at how Charles and Camilla, you don't hear too much about them. This is why they train William to be the person that he is. Because at a time like this, when this is their reign, where people will be talking about Camilla and what she did to Princess Diana. Meanwhile, they shift the conversation to William. And William is eating it up and gaslighting it and do all of this stuff. I mean, like I said, the UK is masterful at this. Charles and Camilla did their thing. You don't hear too many people talking about what Camilla did to Princess Diana. This would have been the conversation right now, while Charles is the king. This would have been the conversation. But instead, what are we talking about? Diana's children. The nonsense that the other brother is inflicting on his younger brother. My goodness. Let's continue.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
The Rogue Royals.
They just wanted to be free. They wanted to be free to love and be happy. I applauded that.
In order for us to be able to move to the next chapter, you've got to finish the first chapter.
It gave us a chance to create that home that we had always wanted.
I've always felt as though this was a fight worth fighting for.
Okay, so there's music in between. I'm gonna have to manipulate it a little bit so I don't get flagged for it, and obviously it's gonna be screenshot. There's one thing that Meghan said, like they create the home that they always wanted, despite, how could I explain this? When you look at Meghan, like the only child from her mother's side, okay, and the kind of family that she wanted, she can't have it because the parents' separation. And then Harry, on the other hand, from the outside, you would think the facade that the royal family create, you would have thought that this is a perfect family. But once you know the story behind the facade, you realize this is a guy who was suffering since his mom passed. And the connection of them, Harry and Meghan, to create what they dreamt of, to make it reality, it was a lot of work, which I've spoke about different videos about, you know, Harry, who probably was just being himself, didn't know any better, and acting out. I will not say it's acting out, because if this is how he was naturally, and it was not the way Meghan accepted it, because it was disrespectful to Meghan, Meghan had to put a stop to it, and Harry, in return, Harry had to take a good look at himself if he wants to move forward to fix himself. Does that make sense? All right, so that's that. Now, I'm going to listen to this. If I heard it before, because it's been since 2020, it seems like it was posted. No, they just posted March 14. Okay, so this might be new. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. I did not want this video to be too long.
Here are two headlines. Not long to go. Pregnant Kate tenderly cradles her baby bump while wrapping up her royal duties ahead of maternity leave. And William confirms she's due any minute now.
Yeah, I think I've heard this before. Why? They know they played. Okay. They know the played, they played, and all this. I had to read it slowly. And all this, it's why they blame Meghan rather than what they did. Harry never was supposed to live with Meghan. They always thought he would choose and put the institution first. They hate, he would choose and put the institution first. They hate, they felt safe abusing Meghan to drive her out, and Harry staying. Okay, this is the perfect love story. The royal family must be in turmoil. That's their problem. All they have to do is mind their own business. All they had to do is mind their own business. And this is a blueprint for racists, pretty much. They are the blueprint for the racists. And those racists are their own worst enemy. Look what's happening in America. All right, they voted for hate and destruction of other groups, minorities, and now they're suffering in the same thing, and this what they wish on others. So they are their own worst enemy. they do not care about the truth. Yeah, they don't care. Whatever come in their mind that will fix the situation at the moment, that's what they throw out. And then whatever the ripple effect of whatever they just threw out, they'll deal with it in the moment because they have people everywhere to pick up their trash for them. Thanks for the reminder. It's raining here, cozy weather, a perfect day to rewatch probably 10 plus Harry and Meghan docuseries on their Freedom Day anniversary, and also a perfect time for a few let's drink here. A lot of people are watching the documentary again on Netflix, and I'm glad people are watching it because it explained their situation. All right, next tweet. He spent hours trolling online forums and posting under a fake name. So basically, taxpayers are paying the future king to be a troll. I wonder which Deranger he is. Okay, so Mirror Royal wrote this. William spent hours trolling online forums where he posts under fake name. The squad knew. Okay, we've been known. He has more than 5 fake accounts, that clown. This is what I'm saying about him saying about when he was talking about the Martin Bashir interview. In the name of fake news, I forgot how he put it.
In an era of fake news, public service broadcasting and a free press have never been more important. These failings, identified by investigative journalists, not only let my mother down and my family down.
So he's distancing himself from being fake news when in fact he is the fake news. All of them. This is what a bot farm controlled by a single bot looks like. There's no need for physical phones anymore to manage the account. Thousands of comments, hundreds of shares that we interact with and get frustrated over, all coming from a piece of code. This is why sometimes I'm like, just ignore them. Alright, and when you hear stuff that's happening in the US, they're making noise about it. It's just a small group. Alright, he was talking about Aston Villa here and how he's interested in hearing what Villa fans say, but there's no doubt that he will do the same when it comes to royal fans. This also explains how he and his wife always copy Meghan because they stalk everything she does. Yeah, they copy everything they do. You could see they look at what Harry and Meghan are doing. I hope he's one of the ones I taught a new, there's the word here, for talking slick. Just more proof that he does absolutely nothing and is completely useless. No one is impressed. I just knew that Kanka or whatever her name is was really Willy. There's the laugh here. I just knew no real woman will be enamored with that lazy, angry drunk. There's the laugh here. Willy username. Okay, there's all of that. Let's go to the next one. This is Sussex Podcast. There is that one here. For those who used to listen to our podcast back in the day, Michelle and I said many times that we won't be shocked to know that Baldy, his Aryan princess, and their KP staff are behind some of these Meghan hate accounts. We always see and have called these things from word go. Alright, yes you did. In fact, you and Michelle were the ones who initially suspected that all was not well behind the scenes with Meghan. Boy, has it been a roller coaster. So thankful Meghan is thriving and living life on her own terms. Both you and Michelle were 100% right about the attacks and the dirty game that family played on Meghan Sussex. You certainly opened my eyes to it because I would have believed the media narrative if it weren't for you and Meghanpedia. Well, it took me a while. Okay? It took me a while. But once you start questioning, it's because I started questioning things. I was not a Sussex Squad fan. I didn't even know what Sussex Squad was. It was after, I started questioning the tabloid, the headlines. And I spoke about it in so many other videos. Why will a black woman be behaving like that based on the headline, what the headline was saying? I was like, there's no way. And then I decided to look deeper into it. Once I started looking deeper into it, and I was like, oh, I need to go on Twitter because this is where some information will be. And I had my Twitter account since 2009. I never went on it. I created it and then it just stayed there. And then when I tried to get back onto it, I couldn't even remember my password. But eventually I got it. And then once I got it, I created the PYTE account on Twitter. So now, when I went on Twitter, the very first person I actually stumbled on, it could have been Michelle or the Sussex Squad podcast. I don't remember. That's who I stumbled on. I don't know what she wrote, and I responded on it, and I tagged Omid on it. And then they responded back and said, can you please delete your tweet? I did not, like, they didn't want Omid to be tagged onto that thing. And not knowing how Twitter works and things like that. And I was like, you could block me. It's going to stay, Eventually, they did block me. But the whole point is, due to the negative headlines, the consistent negativity about Meghan, I was like, there's no way. This person, because I knew of her existence. There's a lot of celebrities that I know of, but I don't follow them. Because this is just a facade. And then they're probably as dumb as a rock or as smart as Einstein. But their lifestyle, I just take it as the celebrity aspect of it, and I just leave it as that. Okay? So I was like, there's no way Meghan would behave like this. She's been in the public eyes for a while. I never heard a beep about her. So why would all of a sudden marry into the institution, which at that time I really thought of them very highly? Okay, the royal family, you thought they will be, those little petty things is below them. So I was like, there's no way Meghan will behave like that. And then when I looked deeper and deeper, and I was like, what in the hell am I looking at? I saw all the nonsense. Go through my early videos, especially on PYTE. First, I started posting about Obama's U.S. politics, because that's what PYTE was going to be about. The funny side of politics, because the stupidity that I was seeing was unbelievable. Then I stumbled upon some tweet, and I decided to share it on that channel. And then one of the squad happened to stumble on that video and said, I'm not on Twitter. Can you post more? And that's how it started. Because once I decided to start creating content about Harry and Meghan, it was randomly. Once in a while, I thought of something, I created, and then I was done. But the tweet has become consistent because the conversation and things like that. So here we are. So yeah. But anyway, let's get back to this. Where was I? Both you and Michelle were 100% right about the attacks and the dirty games that family played on Meghan Sussex. You certainly opened my eyes to it, because I would have believed the media narrative if it weren't for you and Meghanpedia. The thing that they have done is that, they still stuck in Stone Age. Back then, when it was just newspapers, you will read the thing at your house while you're eating breakfast, or you're on the train or commuting. If you're not driving, you're reading the papers. So whatever information they put on the newspaper, it stays with you. Or if you have a friend or your partner, you could talk to them about it. But with social media, the moment the thing comes out, you could easily talk with the world. So this is what's their problem. People are talking. That's what happened with them here. To a certain extent, we are enlightening each other. To a certain extent. And this is where they come with the bat to interfere between our conversation. So that's how, in my humble opinion, those bats come about, to interfere the conversation between real people. Because when real people are talking, we enlighten each other, and they do not want us to be enlightened. This is why they hate the thing woke. They want us to be asleep. So when we're talking with each other, we know a little bit here, a little bit there, and we plug each of our ideas together, and we see the full-blown BS that they're creating to keep us and the dark. So they create the bats to interfere, create a false narrative to make it seem like it's a lot of people instead of the real conversation that's going on. You understand what I mean? So this is why the other side are creating bats. If, for instance, I'm talking, oh, it's sunny outside, it's very nice, you could wear a light jacket, go outside, blah, blah, blah. But they want you to, whatever goes in their crazy mind, to wear a heavy jacket. So they will come in between and said, oh, it's going to be below degrees or whatever, below zero, it's going to be freezing, to intercept, to disrupt the flow of positive, good information. You understand what I mean? But let's get back to the original recording. Among themselves and said, what kind of BS is this? This is what's taking them down. Social media. As much as they benefit from it, and they're also being punished by it as well. Well, in everything, there's always a plus and a negative. And we have us, the global community, talking about it and exchange ideas, what you understand about the troll and all of that. Okay, yep, you said it. All right, yep. It was the trenches then. Yeah, we're spot on. Bango, you and Michelle were right. Yep. Yeah, we're spot on. Bullseye. Yep. All right, let's go to the next one. That's another Sussex Squad podcast tweet that I'm sharing with you here. The next one. Okay. Oh, did I put it twice? Okay. And someone else retweeted the Sussex Squad podcast, the one that I just went to, I think. Yeah. That's the one I just went to. But someone retweeted because they blocked their comments. Okay, in case anyone forgot, but even Prince Andrew had a troll he hired to smear Virginia Giuffre. The KP trolls are also members of the media, all sanctioned by the fair ones. Okay? The thing they don't realize now is, yes, they can sanction all the hate they want against Harry and Meghan, but it doesn't improve their likability. They're still ignored and forgettable, like no one cares about them, and I think they know it. I'm seeing more, what is it, like Not My King kind of protests. I'm seeing more of it, but it's not a lot of people, but I see it. Yep, Miss Vic called out Royal Voters, Richard Aden, and he messed up and replied, and his burner account as Maureen. Yep, I remember that. I remember some squaddies have that screenshot somewhere. It might be in some of my videos, at least twice. Next tweet, if Prince William can openly admit that he goes on football forums anonymously, it's not so far-fetched to think him, Kate, and their team have burner account to push anti-Meghan rhetoric or even go so far as to run trolls account. Okay, ever since I read about that today, I've been wondering if we weren't run into them and the comments or here as anonymous account. Okay, maybe when Derangers come into our comments, we should start asking this question, is this you, William? Oh, I mentioned a couple of them already. There's that here. William spent hours trolling online forums where he posts under fake names. Kate Middleton allegedly used secret online account to ask for advice on disagreement with Prince William. You just let them be, let them reveal themselves. Oh, hell yes. That's why they look like dry up death warmed over. They are consumed with the reality that Harry really doesn't need any of them, and he's building wildly successful public service organization with his beautiful, hardworking millionaire wife. I've believed that all along, not just them, but their courtiers and enablers in the press, some of whom have been found to have burner accounts or caught liking hate accounts. Okay. Well, of course they do. Duh. Nothing will surprise me now about that family. They are sick. They are future king and queen, but trolling online. Queen Elizabeth turning in her grave. And yet, Meghan thrives and rises above it all. Of course they do. After these, that's it. Although Daily Mail could also be a lie. Exactly. Not too far-fetched. Well, they know the truth. Okay? Daily Mail know the truth. Because they're not getting anything from them, anything meaningful for people to like them and then for the papers to write. Okay, so they upset with him and they outing him. And the other thing as well, Okay, this is purely speculation on my part. When William took the money for not suing the paper regarding the phone hacking thing. Okay, I know that the Derangers will say, oh, he shut down some other newspapers and whatever, but he didn't go as far as what Harry did with the phone hacking case.
What I really, really don't like and what I find hard to make peace with is that there are some people on one end of the spectrum who are sitting behind their keyboards writing dangerous or defamatory headlines knowing that it's going to work as clickbait because any context in the rest of the article protects them and there's nothing you can do about it. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Nobel Prize winners like Maria Ressa, who's literally putting her life on the line, and war correspondents who again are putting their lives on the line to bring us the truth. So that, to me, is the spectrum. And my life has been covered by this end of the spectrum, which I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everybody else because we depend on it so much.
You did say in your book, you said, I began to think at some point that Murdoch was evil. You've had very strong words about Rupert Murdoch and what you think he did in this phone hacking scandal. What is the goal of this lawsuit, which has been ongoing now for a very, very long time?
The goal is accountability. It's really that simple.
1,300 people, from what I've read, have settled with the Murdoch folks. And of the 40 claims that originally joined with you in this action, it's down to now 2. And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
I think they give him some extra money to prevent Harry from suing them. But little did they know, Harry will do his own thing. So now they're really upset. They want money. So the papers want their money back. Meanwhile, William and Harry had the upper hand. That's the thing. William doesn't understand what he has or his position. All right, so that's that. Let's leave everything alone. Let's go to the next one. I have one more left. Okay, there's that again. Okay, I have time for this clown today. Pointing down here, nothing new. We've known for years that he is a social media platforms in disguise, aka as a Deranger, to spy and spill his bitter gut at Miss X. Only men with small, there's the word here, energy will do this. William spent hours trolling online forums where he posts under fake names. Alright, so that was a retweet. This is my last one, and then I'll do another video for PYTE, and there might be part 1, part 2 for PYTE because I have a long list. Okay, Meghan's haters love to call her projects flops, while the truth is she was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for her book With the Bench. Her archetype podcast was #1 podcast in 47 countries, dethroned Joe Rogan from the top chart. Her Netflix show with Love Meghan, there's that here. Meghan Markle Archetype Podcast initially debuted as Spotify's #1 podcast in 47 countries. So that's her receipt of everything she listed here. There's that. According to the streamer, With Love Meghan has amassed 2.6 million views and 12.6 million hours watched since its debut on Tuesday, March 4th. Okay, The Bench, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex debut children's book. The Bench is #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for children's picture books after being released just last week. Alright, congratulations to everyone involved in the project. Alright, so there's Netflix. With Love Meghan is whipping up season 2. Alright, so there's that. Alright, her show on Netflix, With Love Meghan, is in the kitchen of top 10. It amasses 2.6 million views worldwide and 12.6 million hours watched. Okay, let's pause that. Stay mad. That's the B word, because no matter how much you scream out loud, it flap. It doesn't make it right. Not true. Keep crying while she's winning. There are people who stand the wells who are the pinnacle of mediocre, so you can expect better from them. Also, when Harry and Meghan release project, they are competing with the best of the best on a world stage. That is true. Okay, the others aren't under that microscope because no one cares. That's a very good response. Yes, Harry and Meghan are competing with the world. And this is what I'm saying. To be top 10, that's huge. Even top 100, it's huge. Because you have all these people who's putting project and things like that out there. And for them to be top 10, that's pretty good. All right, they said that to soothe their jealousy, she's way above them and they can't stand that. She's a success in everything she does. Top chart in multiple Commonwealth countries. I like it. They're living an alternative universe. Yep, the Derangers she's making reference to. Is this? Okay. Her podcast also won a People's Choice Award. I forgot about that. That's true. They can't take that. She's winning. Facts and receipt. Flap in their warped minds. They say it often enough to start believing it. I just wish her PR can do a better job combating the stupid narrative. I don't know. Let's see here. 100% agree with this. I feel they let too much slide. I might just be the petty me. Okay. What can they do? What can they do? I don't know. I guess they just have to pick their battle. Because just remember, the others, they want to be in the headlines too. So if they argue or debunk them or something, will put them at a higher level to be looked at. Let's say there's a headline from the Daily Fail saying something about Meghan, that's not true, about Meghan's thing on Netflix, With Love Meghan. And then now the PR come and debunked it and back and forth. And then people's gonna start looking and say, oh, let's see what Daily Fail said. So I just think they just have to pick their battle. I think more people are seeing what's happening, and there are people who's going back to the docuseries, Meghan and Harry docuseries. So I don't know. It will have to be extreme for them to respond to, for their PR team to respond to. I think they're just focusing on themselves. They put that thing out. She does her show, go promote it, and just focus on that thing. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. There's some truth to it where the PR could do something, but not being in the business, for one, and just in my, I don't know, minimalist, immature mind of PR, I just don't see what they could do. It will have to be extremely devastating for their PR to say something and then eventually take it to court. Can you imagine? Just look at Harry, for instance. The amount of nonsense they put Harry through. Okay, they ignore a good portion. Harry ignore a very good portion of the nonsense they say about him. But the ones that he know he could win, he takes them to court. He doesn't even go to Ipso anymore. That you guys should know. I spoke about it. Where headlines that will say something about him where he disagree with, he will bring it up to Ipso. Alright, just look at the screen. Ipso is one of those who look at like a self-managing newspapers in the UK. I say self-managing because it's the same group who managed Ipso anyway. It's like their buddies. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. They usually ignore him. Then when he realized each time he goes to them, they ignore him. So he doesn't go to them anymore. He goes straight to the court, which is what happened with the phone hacking and so many other things. And then when Meghan, when they print Meghan's letter, Meghan didn't even bother go to them. Not only the royal family's lawyer was preventing her, I don't know if it's prevent, but dragging on. Like they're giving her some empty promises to hold on. And then when Meghan realized they're not going to do anything, she hired her own lawyer. And then they were telling her she's not going to win because it's the paper and all of that.
for instance, if you take the media on, as Dawn will know, you never win. If you never win, but the media will always be at war with you, and the Daily Mail does everything drip, 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 poison.
And it's not like Harry and Meghan never use the media, of course. I mean, that Oprah Winfrey
if you were in that position, you would fight back too. You would absolutely fight back too.
I wouldn't.
Eventually, she won. And in the process, she lost her second baby. So they have to choose their own battle. They know the one that they could win and the one that they cannot win. And it's also what Harry have said at the Millbook interview, where about the spectrum, there's some people who's working so hard to combat misinformation, and there are some who's literally deliberately putting misinformation out there. So with him, he chose his own battle. But anyway, so that's it. That was my last tweet for this video. So please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Now I'm going to do another video for PYTE. If you have not subscribed to PYTE, please do. The first video will be, the first tweet I should say, I'll be talking about that. All right, the squad are closing their comment section. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.